Alright, another video, but this one's like shorter because I actually want to play video games. I've been fucking recording, writing all that shit, rendering it, like listening to the record. It's not such a big deal, but it's like the time I wasted doing that, I could have just did something else. At least the way I see it, right? Like I finish, exercising, I'm like, okay, I might as well get this out. It's only gonna take me like a little while. And before you know it, it's like over an hour plus to just, excuse me, record, then render it, then share it. My upload speed is terrible. It's fucking god awful. It takes like fucking 20 minutes to like a half an hour, and sometimes the download gets like canceled because I'm like browsing on the internet with my computer. I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have enough bandwidth for this fucking bullshit. Opening up too many windows and shit. I'm an Instagram addict, but what can I say, man? I'm right o'clock. I'm always right. I'm right about all these things. So there's this story that came out, and I just saw it recently about I'm not gonna get into the details. Just some guy at a dance studio, right? And there was this little girl who was, I think, calling her parents or something like that, and she's just like sitting down on this sofa, and then out of nowhere, this like guy. I don't know if he's like the dance instructor, or somebody who works there, or like somebody else's like some other kid's parent. And this is the fucked up part, right? Because I'm always pointing the finger at these illegal migrants entering into the Middle East. People of certain backgrounds, religions, Sikhism, blah blah blah, right? But we got to like understand like why they were allowed to commit these crimes at such high volume, and on top of that, like how they were allowed to enter into the country at such with no oversight, no criminal background checks. Like, to be fair though, like if we're gonna be honest about how are we gonna get like criminal background checks from a country that's like over a billion people, like you're just not. Even like at the hundreds of millions of people, like you're not gonna get these. Like you're not gonna get the true story behind these people because there is no institution. There is no. Uh, there's nothing. There's no criminal history. There's no criminal records. Like unless these people are like murderers and stuff, they're like hardcore incarcerated. Like there is no whatever. Like you can steal, you can rape, you can like whatever, as long as like it's within like the parameters of not attracting like the world's attention. So case in point, right? I commented on one of these stories, I think in one of my earliest videos, but it was just like so morbid that like I don't really want to go into it because I watched this video by Rotten Mango about like these Indians. And I think the city was Bombay or Mumbai or whatever, and they were like they go to this like I think it was like a university or like library or something, and there's this like university student there. She's like a med student, and they're like asking her for like I guess narcotics, right? She says no, and then they come back and then they beat her to death. And like the way that they beat her to death, it was just so brutal and graphic. Like I don't want to, you know, talk about it because it's fucked up, right? And then not only did they do that, but they went out of their way to like cover it up. So they're sending in people, and not just like a little bit. Like we're talking about like in the hundreds of people to go into this like university and just trash the entire fucking building, get rid of all the evidence, mangle her body. Someone was paid to masturbate over her mangled, like disfigured corpse, basically. Like she was already dead, and then like some guy was paid. Yeah, we'll pay you, you stupid poor person. Go jerk off on this like dead person's body and shit, so you can implicate yourself. And this person's like, oh, money seems like a good idea, right? And that's the kind of like fucking evil, the kind of scumbag like wretchedness that exists in their country. So I'm not oblivious to it. I'm not like stupid about it, but we have to understand like how these people are allowed to get into the country. It's because we have very, very, very evil people, very, very sick people that not only they're how should I put this? Um, they treat their pedophilia like they're some kind of secret agent, right? So there's this new video that came out by Moist Critical, aka Penguin Zero, if I'm not mistaken, that's his name. Moist Critical, everybody knows who that guy is, right? Um, wow. I I do not know what to say except I've seen this shit before. Like me personally. No, 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 not personally. Sorry. From other videos online, right? Thankfully, I haven't seen it personally because I would fucking, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be, arrested or like, assaulting somebody because they're, doing this thing, right? And when you understand the ramifications of living in like this emasculated society, even before I started wearing nail polish, lipstick, and like all the fishnets and like fingerless gloves, all the things that you'll like if you go to my Instagram, you'll see me wearing that in like excess. Before I was even doing any of that, I've noticed like the lack of masculinity that men possess, and it goes without saying that like it's not just that they possess this kind of cowardice, but they're also protecting like other men who have, let's just say, more visible symptoms of their disease. So this man who sniffed the sofa, so the little girl gets up out of the sofa, and then this man comes in out of nowhere and smells the sofa, like literally puts, and it's on video too. He's literally putting his head into the sofa, right, and smelling it, and then everyone, there's like people online, and I don't know if they're joking to like fuck with the people, to like raise concern and like raise people's blood pressures and shit, just like for a laugh, but like people are actually defending this, and I'm like, wait a minute, where have I heard this before? Like when I drive, right? Like that's what these people are doing. They're defending the pedophiles because either they're one of those pedophiles or they have a family member that is a pedophile. It is more than obvious now, like why these people are the way they are is because we have a large sum of individuals inside of any nation, doesn't really matter, but they have this proclivity, and it's like a secret society that they have, and they're trying to maintain that level of secrecy, but the veil has been lifted. We have all been exposed to this savagery of mental deterioration. For someone to want to victimize kids and to sexualize and hypersexualize them, right, is a truly sick and twisted individual. And like I was making in my like previous post about the whole fiction and affinity for non-vaginal sex, like specifically sex from the rectum, anal sex, right? Uh, is coming from that because I gave it some thought too, right? And maybe I'm naive about this, but I'm pretty sure like you can't smell a vagina through clothes, right? Like I'm just gonna put that out there. Like how like you can fart or you can have like your body heat or whatever scent that like just comes out of your butt, I guess, right? And then like if you're fast enough, like this guy was, he was fast, right? Because it's like warm air rises, so he's got. And there are people actually defending this guy. They're like, yeah, maybe he's trying to like check up on her to find out if she has like diarrhea or some shit like that. And it might come out later that that was the case. But like the way he just sticks his head into the fucking sofa, dude, is like no regard for your own personal health. Like she can have something and you don't know it, right? And now you got it. Fuck, dude. It's just pedophilia. It's just pedophilia. And where have I seen this before? Well, not just here in North America with like the whole like pedophile poachers, which was like back in the day. It's actually coming back. And the sex registry is going to be open, so we get to like go take a trip down memory lane and see all these guys who got like charged for this shit. But like most likely the House of Commons is gonna shoot it down because it's like either their family members are implicated, but it's just like, or they're just like that themselves. They have like that shit on their computer. I was right the whole fucking time, dude. The whole fucking time. I'm not exactly happy about it, to be fair. Like I don't feel one way or the other, to be honest. Like it's like seeing this kind of behavior doesn't actually fill me with enthusiasm. You know what I mean? It fills me with concern, fear, apprehension, anxiety. Like I don't want to be living in a country or living in a world where there are sick, twisted individuals like this who have the protection of a government that I'm forcibly paying taxes to that are so incompetent that they can't, figure out that this guy's a threat to other people's kids. And now I can't have kids because of people like this. And for anybody out there who says, "Oh, you're just a coward, you're too hesitant," then shut the fuck up. Like, for real, like, could you have ever predicted like sickos who are like this? And you would never know unless, Moist Critical made a video about this guy. Like, it would just be like a video that some guy, random guy, reported to the cops, and this guy like got like, a stern talking to, right? As opposed to, oh, he's now exposed to the entire internet for being a fucking pedophile, as he should be, But again, like, there were people commenting saying that, like, oh, trying to downplay the situation. He's not as bad. You're just like, you don't understand. Like, there's so many reasons why he can be smelling the sofa like this, and for a fact that like some of those people who are saying and commenting like that, they're like smiling with this like fucking sinister grin on the other side because they're disgusting. They're disgusting, and I remember I asked this guy. It wasn't really asking. I like commented in this video about whether or not like men should have multiple wives to alleviate this kind of problem. And obviously, the response that I got wasn't from the video host, the guy who created the video. It's just some random guy who commented in the video. They're like, no, obviously not. You should just be monogamous, which is, idealistic. It's too idealistic, to be fair. Like, it's something that I don't think like you should run the risk of doing. Mind you, it's not up to me. Like, the missus, my wife, has to make that decision for us, right? Now, if she wants to sacrifice her body and like have 3+ kids, right, or however many she wants, she can do that, and I'll be there to help her. But we both understand, like, especially as we're getting older, that it is something that we can't ask of ourselves, because it's not just you have a baby for 9 months and then that's it. No, you have a baby for basically like a year and a half, right? And even if you have the chance to have like another baby in the meantime, it's just, you know, unless you're like my parents, like, me and my sister and stuff. But like, um, yeah, no, like, there's always going to be like a period, especially with these new younger generations. These, like, and I don't speak for anybody. Okay, there's always going to be people, exceptions to the rules, this and that, who'll prove me wrong easily, right? And to that I say, I'm grateful that you're alive, because you are a minority and an exception to the rule, and everybody knows it. Like, these young women, these younger generations, they just can't handle the burden of just pumping out kids like, the older generations did. Because let's be honest, the older generations could do it because they didn't really have much going on for them. Like, if you compare the education of us to like the older generations on average, it's insane, like, how dense our education is and how ultimately worthless it is, because Trump is dismantling the Department of Education in this country, which is, it's fucking hilarious, but it's also like a long time coming. Like, you just can't have gender studies and then have these kids pay like thousands to tens of thousands of dollars for that kind of schooling, and then they can't like land a legitimate job. You just can't do that. But apparently that was the going thing with these colleges and universities across America. And now here we are, where we have a wide-scale pedophilia problem. Now, what is the biggest issue in the UK, France, Italy, Germany, just Europe in general, that allows like immigration and like unchecked immigration in? Well, the answer is simple. It's like these guys are stalking out women, sexually harassing them, hanging out in school playgrounds, parks, spying on and like, drooling for kids, and it's just disgusting. And when you see the cops prosecuting normal citizens, it just pisses me off. I think it pisses everybody off. I saw this one video, and obviously I don't speak for anybody, but I saw this one video coming out of Toronto, and it's the usual suspects, the Palestinian protesters, and I don't know what the fuck they're protesting. I'm like, what the hell? Didn't you guys get your fucking country? And then there's somebody who actually has a job, someone who's employed. I think they are a salter, So they drive like what do you call it? It's kind of like a golf cart, but it's for the sidewalks, and then they drop salt right on the sidewalks basically. And yeah, obviously the protesters are blocking him, and then like he just gets pissed off. He's just like basically he wasn't um, forcing his way through the crowd, but he was basically like pushing them, shoving them, right? And then this douchebag goes up to these cops, and they're on bikes and shit, and they're like supervising these dickweeds, and he's like, "I have a bunch of assaults on camera and shit," and then the cops just like gives him this look. Yeah, but the guy has a job, dude. How is he supposed to get to work if you fucking unemployed losers are getting in his way? Like, how is he supposed to assault the fucking thing? And then people are gonna get sued because he couldn't get to his job on time. Someone slips on some fucking ice in front of some like expensive building and shit, turns around and sues the building and shit, the owner of that building, and then there's like a gigantic lawsuit that arises from that. Um, we're paying for those lawyers and district attorneys and shit, right? We're paying for that partially. Like, what the fuck, right? And I'm glad that again, I don't speak for anybody. I'm glad that in that one instance, like the Canadian cops did not concede to like the level of cucketry that those cops in the United Kingdom do, because it's just like one of those like doomsday like clock type things where you see like, oh, when your country is has the same kind of government and the same kind of like level of policing that the European Union, specifically UK and France has, that's when you failed, right? And that's why you have to like constantly watch Azure News, because I'm always right. I'm always right about these things, about these bad people, these horrifyingly like devious people. They try to get your trust, and then they turn around and stab you in the back. And we're all dealing with the ramifications of that. You know, watch your back.